celebrity guests on there. He'll have like Paris Hilton on there. He had like Dale Earnhardt Jr. He had all sorts of like celebrities on.
Did you ever see? That reminds me. Did you ever see Hot Ones?
No.
So Hot Ones is this guy. I think it's I can't remember the name of the company, but this guy started this company. I think it was a hot sauce company, and he got this. He was just voracious when it came to getting people on to try these hot wings. And what the premise was, or the format is, one-on-one, they'd sit across the table. The host eats hot
I
wings.
did see that. I see that.
He's getting killer guests now.
Yeah, well, that's the way he is. He gets like all sorts of celebrities. Like they want to.
But dude, it's so freaking funny.
Like rappers and stuff. Like, and that's the other thing too, is like, here, I'll talk about on the
all
thing.
right, we'll talk about it on the show. All right. Let's see. All right. You ready?
Yep.
One, two. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Nick, John, and Jamie Show. I'm John. There's no Nick.
And I am Jamie.
Welcome, Jamie. We are without Nicholas. He had some family obligations that he had to meet, and so just timing. You know, we all, like I said, this isn't our full-time gig. We all got the busy lives going on, but we do make it a point to make a show happen every week. Show up.
Yeah, we just try to get shit done.
Yeah. And so far we got 70. This will be the 72nd episode. Year and a half, consistently had a show on. That's pretty good.
Trudging on.
Most people have a podcast, man. They say, I'm going to start a podcast. What's the average before they close up shop?
I don't know.
6 episodes.
Oh, shit. 6?
That's it.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I'm patting myself on the back here. So let's get into it. We're going to get into, well, you were out last week. Welcome back.
Oh, thanks.
Let's get into the box office. So for last weekend of May 31st to June 2nd, Godzilla, King of Monsters, took the top spot.
Yeah.
That's a straight to Netflix, right?
Yeah. I don't even think I turned that on.
Yeah. Dude.
No interest.
Listen to this. Freaking, so Movie Tavern, favorite spot to go see a movie. Mm-hmm. Great service, great food, great everything. Cindy went to go get tickets for X-Men this weekend, and we'll talk about that too. $16 a ticket. 16. It was like $16.50. What the fuck? $16.50. And you know what? I mean, I'm going to see X-Men for the show.
Yeah.
I'm not going it for $16.
Inflation's a motherfucker.
Yeah, but then I went. Then there's another dine-in. Runs a little better deal.
What's that?
It's the AMC dine-in. It's more. It's actually a little closer to the house.
It's a little closer, not as nice, but
it's
bang for the buck,
dude. I think it was less than $10 a ticket.
Yeah, I mean, listen, some of the prices are getting out of hand, and listen, you're not the only show in town.
Yeah,
so you might want to and it's not like they don't rake you over the coals for the food.
Yeah, dude. So
and it's not that great. It's like I don't like how they do the. I don't like how they do the pretzel bites. It's like, don't...
For which place?
For Movie Tavern.
Wait, they do the nuggets, right?
They do the nuggets, but they put some extra weird stuff on there. I'd like some standard pretzel bites if I'm getting
like a Philly pretzel type of thing?
Yeah, they put some weird... It's got some thing on there. I don't know if it's garlic or something.
They call them rivets, I think, at Philadelphia Pretzel Company.
But it's just it's unnecessary. You know what I mean? And I don't, if I want pretzel bites, you should have your foods that you want to specialize in. Yeah. And then you have your standard movie foods like popcorn, pretzel bites.
What's your go-to? I well, we talked about this.
I like pretzel bites, but candy.
Well, you're set up. You're settle in.
I get the pretzel bites.
Pretzel bites?
Yeah, and then popcorn, obviously.
And then Mike and Eggs.
Yeah, Mike and Eggs, Milk Duds. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, it's ridiculous that they rake you over the coals twice or try to. And people are still, they're going to see movies, but if you're not the only show in town, It's not a good idea.
I got to be honest though, man. The movie tavern, that's
it's nicer. It is. Yeah. It's nice.
They run seats a tight nice. Ship there.
It's nice. I haven't had.
I'm not getting a dime for this, by the way.
Yeah, I think I only had one crummy experience, but it wasn't really even that big of a deal. Like the guy kept on showing up late. I think it's when we saw Endgame. Like remember
he was busy.
He was busy, and I understood that.
Yeah,
you know. And I didn't even really give a shit, honestly.
Yeah.
But the prices are getting out of hand for things. Like if you go anywhere nowadays, like I don't want to sound like an old codger, but it's getting a little ridiculous.
Well, I heard they make all their money on the concession. They don't make any. They make.
Well, it sounds like they're making something. $16 a ticket.
Well, that might be the movie industry. They might have to be. I don't know how it works as far as is it licensing that you get the movie. They got to pay for the movie to get the movie in their theater.
I'm waiting for the time where movie theaters go away because it's looking like that.
Yeah, but then there is something about going to the movies.
There's something about going to the movies, but I'm saying it's going to turn into like few and far between. It's going to be like
VR.
No, I think, well, yeah, that's probably going to happen. But I'm saying it's going to be like there's going to be fewer movie theaters, and they're only going to release like certain movies like as like on movie theater bait.
Yeah,
like the rest will just go to, because if you think about it, if they're going to release it and it's not going to get the thing, and you're not going to advertise it anyway, then what's the fucking point when you could just?
Well, I mean,
look at what Seth Rogen did when they did that. They kind of had their hands tied behind their back with that one movie with the
the interview.
The interview,
yeah.
They had their hands tied behind their back, but it opened people's eyes on like, hey, like especially like Netflix. So like, hey, guess what? We don't have to go to the movies. We can go right to your house.
Yeah, I'm sure that cut into profits big time. And if you look at Disney's really the big heavy hitter that's there. I mean, they earned over $14 billion just on the Avengers movies. And so they're carrying the movie industry right now. Yeah, they're definitely keeping theaters in business for sure.
Yeah.
So, but, you're right. If it's $16 a piece for a family of four, you're talking about $64 just in movie tickets.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And then if you get your eat on and get your drink on, it's easily another $100, if not more.
Yeah, and
so it's $200 to go off with your family to the movies.
And you go to the other end of it's not the other end of the spectrum.
And I'm not complaining. I'm aware.
Yeah,
it's just a little pricey for most people.
Exactly. And like, say you go down to like Disneyland or whatever.
Yeah.
And they just increased the price of the tickets, and they're already pretty expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, dude.
You got to pay for that Galaxy's Edge.
Well, you got to dig really deep in the pockets, some people. You know what I mean? And you're just like, wow. Like, you get hit over the head.
Yeah, but you can get a lightsaber, man.
I mean.
Dude, I heard those lightsabers like $200.
That's what I'm saying.
Damn. What are you going to do with your boys? You indoctrinate your boys to love all things Star Wars, like, all of us. And then they go down there. First time they're in Disney, they get they get all excited about the whole Star Wars thing. And they're like, hey, Dad, I would love a lightsaber.
Not for $200, dude.
Oh, shit, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, the concessions used to be, like, a little ridiculous. Mm-hmm. But they weren't $200 ridiculous.
Yeah, and
that's what I'm saying. Like, you'd be like, back in the day, you'd be like, "Oh my god, the thing's like $50," and then like
for the movies.
No, like for like a tchotchke, like lightsaber. Yeah. Be like, holy fuck! Like this thing, it should be $10. It's $50, but then you're like,
well, Harry Potter did that with the wands.
Like,
they were 70 some bucks.
But like when you get in like the couple $100 range for a tchotchke that's probably just going to get thrown in the corner.
That's the big thing.
Yeah, it's
like you remember when, kids were into, I just called them stuffed animals, but the boys got into these plushes. And I'm like, where are they now? In a fucking trash bin somewhere.
Collecting like bacteria.
Yeah. Now they're a health hazard.
Yeah.
So Godzilla King of Monsters did $47 million. And I think that's just a romp. People want to go out and see some giant monsters. Duke it out.
Not me.
Here's the problem. $170 million budget. Yee. And who knows what was spent on marketing. Aladdin got dethroned, did number 2 spot. That's got $42 million for last weekend, dropped 53%.
That fell short.
Dude, it's $2 million over its budget right now in its second week. $185 million total gross.
I think it did a lot less than they thought it was going to.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what it did overseas, but I'm sure the foreign markets are going to pick up a lot more.
I didn't hear any good reviews from it either.
Well, I saw it.
No, I know you saw it, and you did a review on it.
Yeah.
You weren't the only one that had.
And I think I got a bias, and I said it in last week's episode. I have a bias because I grew up with, the Robin Williams Aladdin, and Will Smith does what Will Smith does, and we can, if you want to hear more about it, you can listen to the last week's episode. But yeah, it was kind of a little bit of a pale comparison.
Yeah, I heard that, like you were saying, the other Aladdin was kind of dry.
Yeah, exactly.
He fell kind of flat.
Very flat.
I heard John Wick, though, didn't disappoint.
John Wick was solid, man.
I heard it was really good.
Yeah.
Like, it was, definitely worth the time.
Yeah, it was fun. I think out of the 3, and I mentioned this in the review.
It wasn't the best, but it was...
It's third in the 3.
Yeah.
But even third in the 3 is worth the price of admission.
Exactly. Didn't fall way off the charts.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Rocket Man... I was sad to see. I wasn't, I thought Rocket Man.
I want to see that.
Well, you saw Bohemian Rhapsody, didn't you?
Yes.
And you liked that?
Yes.
And I heard this is good, like Bohemian Rhapsody. Different, but
I
like
love
Bohemian
Elton John,
Rhapsody.
dude.
Yeah, he's awesome. And he gave it its blessing. He was like, love every bit of it. Elton John was just all about it, which is great. It's a story about his life, and he gives it, its own endorsement. I'm sure he's getting a piece of that too. But yeah, I'm definitely signed up for Rocket Man. I doubt I'll go to the theater for it. I'll probably just wait till it comes on demand. They'll get me that way. But I think it lost a little. I think Bohemian Rhapsody, maybe you get one of those movies a year, and then I think it's just too soon. Timing was a little off.
Well, it's one of those things too. I think it's got to be really good for people to start generating some talk about it. And then, because it might pick up. You think about it. Once more people go to see it, the ball might start rolling. Because Bohemian Rhapsody, I don't think it exactly killed it right away. I think that one.
But it had good press.
Yeah.
What do you think about the rumors of Taron Egerton being a young Wolverine?
I don't know. What's worse though, that or the Batman?
I was going to lean into that one.
Yeah. That one's got me thrown through a loop. I mean, I can't really judge that guy's chops because I know he's in a couple other movies, but mainly you think of Twilight, and that was just fucking garbage. If you sat there and watched that movie, I know everybody loves the books and stuff and the story. That was some of the worst fucking acting I've ever seen, dude. It's
bad in every which way.
Dude, I mean, high schoolers doing a play would be way better to watch than that. That was fucking bad, dude.
The saving grace is that the guy's actually a good actor, and he's he got paid to do those movies.
Well, the thing about those movies,
we're talking about Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson, but we're talking about Twilight. It's not like the story wasn't there, because the story it was pretty decent. The story itself.
Dude, that series, the movie and the books, was a phenomenon.
Well, and not to mention, I've seen the movies. I didn't read the books. And I was thinking to myself, as I was watching the movies, I was like, this is a decent story. Yeah. It's a decent story, but man, this acting has really ruined the story. Dude. It took a shit on it, really.
Yeah, but if you see some of those actors in other material, in other movies, they're not as bad as they were in that movie.
Oh, that was bad.
Well, dude, you know what a phenomenon was? They were selling, which one was he? He was, there was always what camp are you in or the werewolf or the yeah, whatever it was, and that they were selling sex toys that you put in the freezer so it would be cold like an undead Dracula, and people could pretend that they were doing the dirty with Robert Pattinson's
That's hardcore,
character.
dude. That's hardcore.
But dude, that's what it's one thing to have
Believe
something.
me, that's not the darkest thing I've ever heard. That's light. That's light.
But it had some reach, big time. And we'll see what happens. I mean, I think what's going to be telling of the Batman, the Robert Pattinson, portrayal of the Batman, is if they're going to start to connect like this Joker movie with the Batman.
I mean that I'm not as opposed, and you might find this surprising. I'm not as opposed to him being Batman as Ben Affleck.
Really?
Yeah.
You're out of your mind.
I thought the Ben Affleck one was like a George Clooney pull. I thought it was straight.
Oh my God, no way.
I thought it was straight out of like when they first did that, and
I question everything that comes out of your mouth.
It was like George Clooney-esque, dude. It was. And you know what I mean? It didn't. No. Dude, credit card, come on. It turned out not to be as bad as George Clooney, for sure. But it wasn't the best. I didn't like it. I'll be honest with you. I did not like it.
I know you didn't like
the Batman.
The Ben Affleck Batman, but
it wasn't good. It wasn't.
It wasn't good. It wasn't bad.
George. No, it wasn't George Clooney. It wasn't as bad as George Clooney, but it was George Clooney-esque. It had.
So you're saying out of all the Batmen,
yes,
George Clooney's depiction was the worst.
Oh, the worst.
And then right above that is Ben Affleck.
Name a worse one.
Let's see.
I'll take Adam West over.
No, Adam West. You can't even touch that. So you got Val Kilmer, George Clooney.
I'd take Val Kilmer.
You got Christian Bale. Who am I? Michael Keaton.
Yeah, Michael Keaton's up there at top.
Yeah.
Christian Bale. Okay, you can fight hand in hand.
Yeah, Christian Bale is only because the movies are so much better.
And Michael Keaton.
Yeah, they're the top notch.
Yep, they're the cream of the crop, and then the rest.
No, I mean, yeah, no, that's fair. If you're going to rate, you're going to rate them all. I feel like we're missing one. Val Kilmer, we said though, right? Yeah. No, that's on point. I'm with you. So back to the box office. So Ma, I didn't know about this. Octavia Spencer movie called Ma did $18 million, $5 million budget, hit top 5.
The fuck is it?
It looks, I don't even know, man.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. Probably won't see it.
It looks like, I think it's another scary movie. It's a Blumhouse production, so it's probably.
I won't see it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, well.
I'd rather pick my toes.
So, and then number 5, topping off the box office, is John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum with $11 million.
That dropped so much?
Well, I
guess because it's rated R. Think about that.
Yeah. I mean,
rated R movies are kind of hard to keep.
It crushed as far as like
a
John Wick movie,
and it's rated R. Rated R is tough.
Yeah, and did over $200 million in the box office.
Good.
Yeah. So you're probably going to see a John Wick 4. No doubt. But Avengers Endgame. Now we're going to tip into the news a little bit. Ooh. Even though it's number 6, dropped down to number 6. I actually talked to somebody at work, and they mentioned yesterday, was it? Yesterday, they were going to head out and see Avengers Endgame last night. $2.71 billion.
So what's it?
It's sniffing up the ass of Avatar.
In a short amount of time.
Short amount of time.
Like a lot shorter.
Yeah. It's got $80 million to go.
But if you track that compared, it's probably way ahead of its.
Oh, definitely. Because we said Avatar was 4.5 months in the theaters. This is going
a month, right?
Yeah, it's going 6 weeks, so it's a month and a half.
Okay.
I'm fairly confident.
Come on, baby. Come on.
I know, dude. It's a horse I'm rooting for.
Fuck James Cameron.
You cheater.
Yeah.
So that's the box office for this week's.
I meant to ask you this before, and we always glaze over it.
What?
Titanic or Avatar? Which one's better?
Avatar.
I say Titanic's better.
It's the genre.
I'd rather watch Titanic.
Really?
Yeah. I'll watch Titanic over Avatar any day of the week.
No kidding.
Yeah. For sure.
Titanic over Avatar?
Yeah.
Wait, when you saw Avatar, what did you think of it when it first came out and you left the theater?
The 3D stuff was cool, but it really...
The story is pretty basic.
It is.
But, and that's the part that I kind of toil with, because you walk out and you're like, yeah, the story's kind of
But when you saw Titanic, I was like, that was a pretty good fucking story.
Yeah, that was a pretty good story.
I mean, it's pretty legit.
It had some top-notch actors in it, too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you're starting to turn my opinion, man.
I meant to ask you that when we talked about that before.
What's your favorite James Cameron movie? I think Terminator.
Yeah, Terminator has to be it.
Yeah, me too.
I have to, because Terminator's fucking sick, dude.
Terminator's amazing.
That's the only reason I like I still have respect for that guy. Terminator is fucking legit, dude.
Dude, remember in Entourage when he was...
Terminator 2's legit.
Oh, yeah.
Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 are fucking legit.
Yeah, it's a 1-2 punch. It's like Aliens and Aliens 2. Or Alien and Aliens 2.
If you remember, too, I remember because, I would go down and see my uncle, and he was stationed at, Fort Bragg or whatever.
Yeah.
And I go down there, and he'd, take me to go see, because Terminator 1 was kind of before my time. It wasn't in the theater, but Terminator 2 came out, and he took me to see that, and then, the Van Damme movies were coming out, so double impact and shit, and I wasn't supposed to, that was
right.
around the same time, though.
Dude, how the hell is that dude still making money?
Who knows, dude? His movies were awesome.
They're fun, dude.
They were fun, dude. If you think about it, I mean, they probably don't hold up. I haven't seen one in a long time, but they were awesome.
So, speaking of sequels, ham-fisted segue. I told you Cindy got tickets to go see X-Men Dark Phoenix. It's getting tore up in the box office.
In
the box office, not box office, in the reviews.
I will go see it because I'm a big X-Men.
Yeah, man.
X-Men is my favorite. X-Men comic book wise, my favorite, hands down. I can't think of a better one. I just loved it.
Nah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
And I have to go see it. But I knew it. It's a shame. And the reason I say it's a shame is because if you could have utilized all those, they were the best actors, I think, for those characters into a better made movie, with a Feige at the helm.
Rich, those characters.
I think it would have kicked Avengers' ass, honestly. I think if you had those characters that they had, because I think they were the best Xaviers, the best Wolverine, the best... It just was the best Storm, Nightcrawler. I mean, they were awesome with a Feige at the helm. I was like, dude, that's like lightning. Yeah,
I know. It's the real pisser about it, man. Is that they wasted the title.
Oh yeah,
it's like that. That was it, man. That was the quintessential X-Men story. I mean. There's Age of Apocalypse, and there's a bunch of X-Men stories that are really, really amazing.
And I'll tell you too, in the older X-Men's, when it sucked up Jean Grey, when they rescued Wolverine and stuff, and they fly over top, and she gets engulfed in the waves, and you see that. I don't
silhouette.
I didn't like the silhouette. If they did a little spark, so you would know. Mm-hmm. That was cool, and I was like, man, the next one could be great.
Yeah.
And then that one was a fucking tanker.
Ugh, X-Men 3?
Yeah, I was
terrible,
I was grossed out. I was like, wow, way to butcher one of the best comic series ever.
Yeah,
way to go.
Really, really bad. That run, that John Byrne, Chris Claremont run was awesome because that did the Days of Future Past too. Mm-hmm. And the Days of Future Past, that part was I had no business watching, reading those books because it was a little bit more, from the parental side. My mom and dad just thought it was, look at them reading those comic books. Yeah. But the subject matter, Wolverine in Days of Future Past, in his future version, they do the fastball special where Colossus launches him towards a Sentinel. The Sentinel spins around, sends a blast out of it. It's on the cover. Sends a blast out of his hand and takes all the skin off his bones.
Yeah,
dude, that's epic. So Dark Phoenix, I'm gonna say it. You'll probably see it, Jamie. It's Tomato Meter. Now, none of the audience scores have come in yet because it hasn't been technically released.
And that's the one I bank on.
Yeah. So
because it is legitimate.
Yes. So it would have to be way disparate, man. 21%. It's definitely a Rotten Tomato. But Godzilla King of Monsters, that got a 39%. Aladdin's at a 56%.
So they're kind of accurate.
Yeah, but Rocket Man's 91%.
Good. Like I said, I love that shit. I love the old music stories because I think like that's a big thing. The big reason why I like Stern is like when he goes into the whole like them coming up, how they came up with songs. I love that old classic rock and like the stories behind it and how it was like very collaborative back then.
Did I tell you I was watching Dirt?
It's awesome, isn't it?
Dude, it's so much fun, man.
Dirt?
So much fun. I didn't realize Ramsey Bolton was in it.
Yeah, I didn't know that until you sent that to me. And then I put two and two together. But the movie, I didn't know that the guy that played Tommy Lee was Machine Gun Kelly, which is crazy because like you don't notice him because he doesn't have any tattoos in the movie, like on his face. Yeah, it was cool.
It's really fun, and I know there's a bunch of articles that came out that was like, this is much. These are all the lies that the story told, or something like that.
Yeah, but it was a good movie.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
even if there's a shred of truth, which we know because there is.
The table is true.
The table and the ants with Ozzy and licking up the piss because Ozzy said that on Stern.
Yeah, and he snorted the ants. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that was all, even if, I can suspend my disbelief for some good old-fashioned storytelling.
I like how they played it, too, where they did the story, and then at the end of the movie, if you watch it, they showed the clips of the pictures, like original pictures next to the cool as shit.
I got it. I'm not all the way done. I'm at the part where the band's kind of a mess. Okay. I think Nikki Sixx goes to snort coke and he snorts
It doesn't ruin the story for you, but stick into the end when the end credits, they do side-by-side pictures of the cast.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, man, fucking cool, dude. Like,
I'm definitely in. I mean,
whoever made that movie, like, good job. Yeah. Really good job.
Cindy and Cindy wasn't watching it with me, so I was watching it for a little while.
Opening scene was great, too.
Oh, my God. You did not lie, man. You did not lie. She's going to squirt.
Yeah.
That was, you didn't hide that even a minute. And I tell you what, I think you underplayed it.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to ruin it for you. It was a good movie, man.
It was really, really good.
It was definitely not a Netflix bomb. That was a solid movie.
Yeah, definitely. I'm in. I think I'm going to go see the movie Sunday. We'll do a review on X-Men Dark Phoenix on next week's show for sure. Yeah, but it is a little disheartening, the one thing that I did see, I think, everybody's got their own form of clickbait and social media and some of the news things that we subscribe to. And, you just got to read the article and take it with a grain of salt. But the one...
Yes, that's a good piece of advice, John. Yeah. I don't think a lot of people take that advice at all and just read it and take it for...
Sound bites, man. Sound bites.
We were taking that... We were talking about that earlier, about people just... reading something off the internet, which... we all know.
Dude, I would love to have I'm sure the URL's taken, but to be something that's like a debunker. And just to test the water. You ever hear about the guys that got into trouble because they published some totally bullshit, medical journal or something to one of the famous scholarly medical journals, and if you really read it, it was really just a bunch of crap. They wanted to prove that if something gets published by the New England Journal of Medicine,
that's a good litmus test.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they were doing. Yeah. They were trying to prove a point. And I think they're getting in trouble now. But the point was that they published something. I'll find it and bring it up in next week's show. But they published it or sent it in to get published. It got published, and it was just a really bunch of silly, obvious nonsense. Oh yeah. But the problem is that somebody on the clickbait wheel or
numbskull
is just going to use that and promote it into their own echo chamber, and then it's going to be fact.
Yeah, it's fact.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you, like that Alex Jones guy. Now Stern has a bit. He's got a guy that sounds just like him, and he
Oh, really?
Dude, it's hilarious. And like Stern has them like he sells like all like this wild stuff. It's like I'm selling like dog piss that'll make your skin melt, and like I'll talk about that. And then apparently like Alex Jones got a hold of it, and they were playing clips of like him listening to it. He's like, that's not, I don't think Jimmy Kimmel eats children, like, well, no shit, dumbass. Like, that's the joke.
Yeah. Hello. Here's your sign, George Carlin. Here's your stupid sign. Wear it well.
Yeah, seriously.
So, yeah, I'm disappointed. Oh, I know what I want to bring up. There, one of the article that I was about to mention was an article that said, all the stuff that happened in this last phase, or all three phases of the Marvel movies, made this X-Men movie irrelevant. Huh. Like they're not taking which basically translates into, yes, that was a movie that was made. We don't care, meaning Marvel, and we're not going to use any of it. We're just going to continue with our plans, and we're going to still, if Feige's gone on record to say, we're going to still figure out what we're going to do with the X-Men property, because they know it's a gold mine.
Oh, X-Men.
I know, right? My pants are tight.
Yeah, good for you, dude.
Yeah.
I know you'll do it right.
Did you see, first of all, we talked about this when the news was announced, and, Keanu just had the John Wick movie. What he's probably doing next couldn't be more opposite than John Wick, which is Bill and Ted. Yes. And they just announced the cast that Bill and Ted have daughters as their kids.
Awesome.
And so the daughters are, I forget who they cast as their kids. I had the articles off of Gizmodo.
Anything Bill and Ted's, I'm loving it. Bill and Ted's, I loved it.
Yeah, dude, it's just fun and silly.
Yeah, and I loved it. And I'm sad that like George Carlin won't be a part of it because he was great.
I hope they do an in memory of or something like that
dude,
after the credits or something, or at the end.
It was genius, really.
Yeah, it looks like it says there was a Bill and Ted post on Bill and Ted 3 on Twitter. It said, meet the world's most excellent daughters. Bill's daughters, Thea Preston, played by, I don't know who S. Weaving is. And then Ted's daughter, Billy Logan.
Okay.
Played by Bridget Lundy Payne. I think it'll be fun. You know what I mean? Who's going to be George Carlin's character? Because they're going to need somebody.
As long as they throw a So Crates reference in, I'm fucking good, dude.
Death makes an appearance.
Yeah. I think Death is making an appearance in this one.
What do they call it? They give him a Munson or something like that? A wedgie. Yeah, I'm down. I mean, come on. It was just, and like I said, it's just good, fun silliness.
Fun. Silliness.
It's not something anybody should take seriously.
No.
Did you see the pic that Patty Jenkins released of the new one? It's a scene of a Wonder Woman in an 80. It looks like an 80s outfit or 80s.
No, I did not see that.
It makes me. I'm like, okay, I see you're really going with the 80s. I'm showing Jamie right now.
Yeah, I got you.
I see you're really going with the 80s. It's gold armor.
Does she have LA gears on? Dual laces.
There you go. There's a bet. The thing is, Gal Gadot could put on a freaking bag and still be smoking.
God, she is fucking stacked.
Dude. Yeah, she's stunning, dude.
She's
stunning.
Is.
But it's like, it kind of reminds me
that
a little.
accent of hers too.
Yeah, there's something exotic about it.
That makes my fucking pants tight.
But there's something exotic about it. She's definitely covered up more. It is what it is. But it's definitely still celebrating the female form, shall we say?
Yeah.
But it kind of reminds me of Aquaman a little bit.
Yeah, she's not coming out in a burqa. I'm down.
But like I said, she could put on, well, it.
Yeah,
I'm a little worried about it. I don't want them to go too hard. Remember all the issues we were bringing up? There were a lot of nitpicky stuff about Captain Marvel and how it was like, oh, this is the 90s. Oh, did you remember? Let me tell you, it's the 90s again.
Yeah.
In case you forgot, it's the 90s. I don't want them to do that with this movie.
Yeah,
because it's 1984.
We'll see. Time will tell. We'll have to watch it.
It's like, all right, I get it. You got Devo playing. There's some Blondie.
Yeah, that wasn't the biggest problem with Captain Marvel, though, by the way.
No. They're still celebrating that stupid cat. Like, I've seen articles online that he's gotten a short or something like that.
I don't give a fuck.
Now, granted, it's probably just a extended or deleted
So all they're
scene.
saying is, like, the cat was a better actor than Brie Larson?
Had more character, for sure. But I know it, and now I'm thinking about it, it's probably just to push the DVDs or push the
yeah, that's out, too, isn't it?
Yeah. Did you get the DVD?
The digital. No, I don't think it's out on DVD. I think you got to wait.
Speaking of DVD,
yes,
you had a revelation today.
Well, the other day is when they like nixed iTunes. Well, essentially nixed iTunes.
So Apple had their WWDC, their developers conference yesterday, I think, or maybe the day before. But before that, they announced that they were going to get rid of iTunes.
Yeah,
which shook everybody up.
Yeah,
basically all they're doing
of course, because everybody thinks of all the time they spent.
Yeah.
Loading their fucking CDs on that shit.
Yes.
And I am one of them fucking goons that fucking sat there hunched over my parents' basement. Like,
do you have an Apple TV?
Now?
Yeah.
I think I do. Yes, we do.
Okay.
We do. But I don't have it hooked up because obvious reason.
Yeah,
the
cohabitation.
Yeah. But I was definitely hunched over loading them fucking CDs. I remember, like, I can't tell you, hours, days, loading them things up. And when I heard that news, I was like, fuck you, dude. Like, it's still ingrained in my mind how much time I spent. Not to mention all the shit I bought off of iTunes, too. Like, after that, I didn't buy CDs. Like, I would, like, every once in a while, if something came up cheap, and then I would buy it and then load it up.
Yeah, well, Apple's doing the smart thing this time. I mean, they should be getting rid of their $1.99 a song model and go to this subscription base. Because, come on, you talk to anybody, I'm going to say 40 and below, and say, yo, did you going to buy that song? They're going to look at you like, what are you talking about, man? Yeah. It's going to be Spotify. It's going to be...
Well, they should be innovative on the stuff that they should already know. Mm-hmm. Like, and that's why they should, like, leave the TV thing alone. And, like, if they were going to dabble in TV like we talked about before, that they should absorb somebody else that already knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like a Netflix or whatever the fuck.
They won't, though.
They won't.
They got a few money.
But that would have been the smart move.
Yep.
That would have been the smart move. And then they could have been a serious competitor.
Yeah. I mean, they were going to have to pay for content.
And now it's, just...
It's a hard shift, what they're trying to do. They're trying to shift from hardware and their OS to services, right? And they're not known for being a servicing company, really. They're getting smoked in the phone market. They're losing ground there. Now that there's trade embargoes that are happening.
That's from being comfortable, man. That's a good business model showing of you of like when you get comfortable with your product and you don't make any like new innovations, you just change the damn plug and adapt to what others are doing, you fall in the back of the pack.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, their saving grace is that people have built an ecosystem around their devices. And
myself included.
Me too.
But I'm telling you, by the next time, I'm probably going to jump ship.
But you go and look up at like Google Pixels, Google, and say, all right, how do I get all my iTunes music onto my Google account? They were like, let me show you.
Yeah.
And then what?
Yeah.
And then it's what? Then it's what? Your Apple TV, maybe?
Yeah.
I mean, the MacBook Pros, the ones that I have, the quality's been going down steadily.
Yeah, it's not
great. They announced that they were going to put out a 6K monitor.
The only thing I like...
There's no fucking content for a 5K monitor.
No, I know. And the only thing I like, I would say currently that they have that I still think is the best is the iPad.
Yeah, well, they just...
Tablet-wise, like the iPad's still the best.
Yeah, it's a great device.
Yeah, it is. It is a great device, and I don't think anybody else like figured it out, and they were too late to the game if they did.
Yeah, I mean, Microsoft does their Surface Pro, and
that sucks.
It's actually a really good device, but they didn't have any software, or they were late. Yeah, exactly right. They were late to the party big time, and it was like, well, you're not going to get this traction you're going to need. And iPad's going to still continue to smoke you.
So I like that. I do still like that, but everything else. it's of the wayside.
Yeah, I agree. So that's Bill and Ted, Gal Gadot. What are you watching these days?
Well, I told you I just started watching. I just found out a friend of mine. I gotta give a shout out. My friend of mine told me about the Criterion editions.
Oh, that's right. Keep going.
I surprised I didn't know that. I actually just got it in the mail, so I just started watching it. But I got Dazed and Confused Criterion editions. So apparently, they shoved the material in there, so it's like uncut.
Yeah.
And so far, so good. It's pretty awesome.
So you're just happy with what you're watching from Dazed and Confused? Because Criterion usually has like all these like fancy cases and
no, it had like a fancy case and stuff, but it has like more material in there.
Yeah, so added footage.
Yeah, so like that's all that I would want would be like a longer Dazed and Confused. That movie's awesome. That movie is awesome.
And the thing is, nobody gets older.
No, dude, that movie is awesome. And the fact that it's longer, it makes me happy. I'll give a full review on it after I'm done watching.
Yeah, man, I'm dying to know because I'm a big fan of that movie too. Talk about a career launcher as far as that movie's concerned.
Oh, yeah. Movie is great.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What else in the news? Oh, today being the June 5th, a lot of things hit Netflix today. Anything you're excited about? I'm speaking specifically around they released new episodes of Black Mirror and Handmaid's Tale. You watch them at all?
No, I might start watching those. I was watching
Black Mirror,
I was watching Chernobyl and stuff like that.
Oh, you watched Chernobyl?
I'm still in it.
I'm afraid to watch that
it's
movie,
good.
Man.
It's good. It's scary, but it's good.
Man.
The speaking of Netflix, we were talking about that earlier. Looks like they're cutting a lot of fat. Like they cut The Ranch.
Yeah.
They cut like a bunch of other shows that like people are kind of upset about, but it looks like they're focusing, which they should have already been doing.
Narrowing their focus.
It seems like they're focusing on the hits, which is a good idea.
So what do you see as the hits?
Well, I mean, like
Stranger Things,
stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
And I hope that I was not totally opposed to like some of the crap they had on there, only because they gave it a chance. So if they're not putting much money in it and they throw it against the wall and it doesn't stick, because my problem is like we were just talking about Apple, about how they got comfortable. Now, if they keep throwing like a bunch of stuff and stuff like innovative, like from unknown directors and whatnot, and if it's good and because people watch a ton of shit because you can watch it on your phone or whatever, it'll get talked about, it'll generate and it'll snowball and then people will start watching it.
Oh, the viral marketing is the best.
Yeah, because if you think about it, like, I mean, when like Stranger Things came on at first, I didn't know what the fuck it was.
No.
And the only reason I watched it is because a bunch of people told me it was good. The same thing with
so delighted when that show came on.
What's the Suicide Show that I like?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And I didn't see any marketing for
13
Reasons Why.
Yes.
I didn't see any marketing in that, and I thought that was excellent.
Yeah, I love that. And here's the thing, Netflix doesn't have to spend a dime on that.
No.
When it's as far as the marketing. Whereas you'll get other things that'll pop up. And that's the beauty of social media too. Like Netflix and social media, if something goes viral, you'll see zero marketing except for people that are unpaid by Netflix content generators.
Yeah. And that's, I hope only for content reasons that they keep the dream alive.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? I hope that I'm worried that when Disney comes out, they're going to change business plans and it's going to kind of like botch their whole thing that they got going on.
Well, I mean, Disney's got a bunch of irons in the fire, right? I mean, as far as entertainment and content, but what they don't have is a lot of real tight original content. I mean, granted, they have Marvel. Granted, they have they get original
different stuff.
They get originality by acquisition.
Yeah.
If you're looking at what these live action movies are doing, I'm sure they're not doing as much as they thought they were doing. Dumbo was not seen as a stellar success. It looks like Aladdin is falling flat.
Beauty and the Beast and Jungle Book were good, but
but Jungle Book was a while ago, and Beauty and the Beast was a little while ago too. They're releasing 3 I think it's 3. Jungle Book. Lion King.
That's
Aladdin.
where social media can screw you too. Because think about it, those 2 movies came out and they were talked about heavily.
Yeah, especially Dumbo.
Because they were, well, I'm talking like Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was good.
Yeah.
It just was. Now you got these other 2. Then I haven't seen them, so I can't really talk shit about them.
Yeah.
You've seen them.
Yeah, I've seen Aladdin.
I see the social media on them, and it's not positive.
Nah, but that goes back to like, yeah, people, it's a tricky balance. There's the nostalgia play where people are like, oh man, isn't that awesome? I remember, and they go back into their memory and they just want to charge that up again. And then there's the like I think it's going to backfire with Aladdin, and I think it's going to backfire for the exact reason that we talked about, which is I remember my Aladdin, and this is kind of, and I'm the one paying for the ticket to take my kid.
If you're going to come up with Aladdin, you better step your game up. Don't it seem mediocre. Mm-hmm. So I'm with you. So
what's coming out in June in Netflix? I did not realize this was getting released in June, but things that we might. The Dark Knight's actually coming out on Netflix in June. It's out now, June 1st.
Like the movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Black Mirror Season 5. Ralph Breaks the Internet, which I thought was really good.
Yeah, that was decent. What I saw of it, because I had to walk outside with a screaming kid.
But here's the thing that I'm really excited about. June 26th, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Fucking love that movie.
Yeah, I have that.
Did you buy it?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I like that.
Of course. So, I think
my kids don't like it though.
I know you said it just doesn't resonate with them.
Yeah, but I like it.
It's really for that comic book nerd.
Dig it. Yeah,
I'm so glad it did as well as it did.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I just want to mention that.
Oh, and Handmaid's Tale, but that's actually coming out for Hulu. I think it's Hulu.
Hulu.
Have you watched that?
No,
dude.
I don't have Hulu. I don't really watch Hulu. So
we'll go on and off of Hulu. We'll be like, oh, that's cool. We'll buy it. Get the subscription for the month. Binge it. I'm going to put out a PSA and just say, be warned. When you binge that show, it's rough. It's a great show.
What's it about? What's the premise?
So the premise is that there's this future state where I forget how they even got here, because I kind of caught it a little bit into the first season. But there's a future state, and there are these women cannot have kids. There's a handful of women that can have kids, and they're basically brought into slavery to be baby makers for the rich and powerful. It's a military state. It's I forget. Cindy has been watching it way more than I have. But the imagery, the action, it's almost like it's definitely modern day slavery.
It's really dark.
It's really dark and disturbing. And if you watch it in succession, like one after the other, like I said, binging, it'll fucking shake you up.
Fucks your head up.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like Requiem for a Dream, but over and over.
Ooh, yeah. Or did you ever watch Kids?
Yeah, Kids is another one.
Yeah, that's another one. It's rough, but
I think even Basketball Diaries falls into that too, because that was kind of dark too.
Yeah, it's real. It's powerful. It's gritty. It's what movies are supposed to do. But it's like one
of those movies, like especially Requiem for a Dream. I could not watch that again after that.
No, it's a one and done.
Yeah, that was like it's good.
Yeah,
but damn.
Yeah,
damn. I didn't feel good about myself after that.
Yeah.
I felt dirty.
So, shifting gears. Well, actually, did I mention Black Mirror? Obviously, Black Mirror is coming up. And Miley Cyrus is in an episode of Black Mirror. They actually brought the star power for this season. I forget who else is going.
No, that's cool.
But they got a handful of stars that are going to be in Black Mirror. Well, that's what we do, right? The UK does a great series, and then the US catches on. But I just got done watching end to end Good Omens. It's a BBC series. It's got David Tennant, who I think was Doctor Who at one point, and it's basically an angel and demon. They kind of it opens up. It kind of reminds me of what's it? Did you ever watch? No. Did you ever watch Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
Yes.
It kind of reminds me of that. It has kind of a tonal feel like that, but it's basically about an angel and demon that become friends on Earth, and they dig Earth, and all the signs of the apocalypse are coming. The Christ child, or the Antichrist, is being brought to Earth. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse are coming. All these omens are happening, but it's very much like heaven and hell are run like a company. Like the angel and demon that are on Earth are like, they're bosses, right? Beelzebub is for the demon, and I'm a bad Catholic, like Michael for the angels. And John Hamm plays, I believe it's Gabriel or Michael. I think it's Gabriel. Plays Gabriel, and it's like he'll come down and he's like, get a status report from the main angel that's on Earth. I think his name's Aziraphale or something, and it's good. It's entertaining. I'd say 7 out of 10. I enjoyed the whole
seasons?
thing. Just the one.
Just one.
And it's clever. It's different. If you want something that's,
I like Lucifer, so I'll check it out.
Yeah, definitely check it out. It's got a Lucifer feel as far as like these guys. Like if you were to go and look at Gabriel Byrne in that Arnold movie where he played the devil, it's not straight up evil, right?
Yeah,
these are just
like
they're more rational, and they dig Earth, and they go through all the instances, like the centuries, and all these cataclysmic events that have happened throughout the years where they were there. They start off, of course, with Eden and how the whole apple and everything like that, and they get thrown out of Eden. But definitely entertaining. I'd recommend it. I give it probably a 8 out of 10, something like that. But good stuff. Worthwhile. What else am I watching? What are you watching?
Well, speaking of reviews, one bite, you know the rules. That Barstool Pizza review.
Oh yeah.
Dude. I'll tell you what, I came late to the game on that.
So that's like a Food Network show, right?
It's like he does these quick little quips, I guess you would call them.
Yeah.
On like Instagram, Twitter, they're on YouTube. They're I think everywhere. They're probably on Facebook. It's called Barstool Pizza Review. The guy's funny as shit, man. I dig it. It's hilarious. Like he's got his keywords there, like pizza flop, and
so all he does is it's all pizza though.
Yeah, he always, and every time before he takes a bite, which he always takes more than one bite anyway, but he goes, one bite, you know the rules. Cause he always takes the initial bite and they'll bite the crust. And, he's funny though, cause people will chime in, and he is real with the reviews. Like, owners will be standing over top. And he's like, dude, I showed you the one. He's like, I'm going to do you dirty, dude. Like, this pizza sucks, So,
Barstool Pizza Review. Pizza Pete, presented by Frank's. It looks like he has.
He's got quite a following. Like, people watch the shit out of him. And the dude is funny. That's the reason I watch it. I think it's hilarious. Not to mention, I like pizza. It makes me want to eat pizza all the time.
Dude, how friggin' perfect the food is pizza.
Pizza is fucking awesome. Pizza is great.
Dude, Barstool Pizza Review. This guy,
he's like, it's a good football pizza. And if he gives a good
dude,
review,
he's got over 7 million followers.
Yeah, the guy he's legit. And he's got celebrity guests, which are hilarious. That's another thing I love about the guy. The guy is totally fucking honest. Like Little John or somebody was late to one of his things and he was skewering him.
Really?
Yeah. And then Little John showed up and he told him straight to his face. He's like, dude, hopefully you don't even watch the beginning of this, because I was fucking lambasting. He's like, and then he kept on bringing it up throughout the review. He's like, dude, you were late, so you can't even you're giving it a cold review.
Yeah, what a gig though. Go around and rating pizza places. That's amazing.
And if you watch it, you see why the guy has a niche in it. It's funny. So if you don't know about it, I'd recommend it.
Well, as long as he doesn't go gimmick, his shtick is to review pizza places, but you just hope those guys stay pure.
Yeah, he does I like how he plays to the crowd too, because people know who he is, and they'll walk by and they'll be like, oh yeah, whatever, and he's like there's a group of kids that were on his jock.
Yeah.
And he like called him out on it. He's like, this dude will laugh at anything. He'll laugh if my grandmother died or something like that. And the kid laughed. He's like, see, I told you. You know, like shit like that. Like he's funny.
Yeah, there's like a couple of people out there, you know, it's like they become entrepreneurs and they make $1 million or make $100 million.
This guy deserves it.
Yeah. And if they're legit, that's like what we were talking about earlier. I was talking about the guy that does Hot Ones. You know, he has a YouTube channel. He does Hot Ones. I've heard him interviewed by other people, and it's just legit his passion. And he talks about how I spend all day, every day thinking about this show and how to make it great and how to make it awesome. And the premise on that Hot Ones show is awesome. Like he'd have... It takes the piss and makes it more real. And I think that's what's going on with social media. And that's why it became so popular, because you see these people in the distance that are these celebrities and you're like, you know, it's all marketing. It's all gloss. It's all, you know, trainers and finishes and just a lot of fluff. But what happens in that Hot Ones is that, dude, if someone put a lit match in your mouth and lit your mouth on fire or whatever, and then started saying, so where are you from? What's your favorite place? Yeah. You'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? And you see these people get unhinged.
Yeah.
And they have to go through, I think it's like 10 wings. And the last one they call the last dab. And they take this, it's like off the chart Scoville scale. And they put a dab on it. And you got to... Dude, you see, there's one with Gordon Ramsay, and then when they're done, he has Gordon Ramsay to make eggs for him, and they pull out the hot plates and everything, and Gordon Ramsay is losing his shit. He's like, bloody hell, Jesus Christ! I'm doing an Australian accent, but you get it. And like they can't focus.
Yeah,
like they're totally. It's like a torture chamber.
That's why I love when we were talking about this the other day. Of like somebody gave my wife's dad like hot sauce, and I was like mentioning the fact that I love when like people are like, yeah, it's so good, and like you're like looking at them like
then they get bit.
They're pouring sweat. Their eyes are bulging out of their head. And it's like, dude, that's not good, dude. Like, don't be a dick here.
I remember being a kid, man, and hanging out with my dad, and we were in his van, and he got a bag of little like dark red chilies, like tiny ones, and they weren't dry, they were still on the somewhat fresh side, and I was a 13-year-old kid, and I was like, what are these? And they're just in a sandwich bag, and he goes, be careful with that, and I was like, oh no, dude, I'll do it. And I put it in my mouth and I chewed it up, and he's looking at me like, you smacked ass, and like that. And we had another 20 minutes to go to get where we needed to go. And I did exactly what you were talking about. I'm fine.
Yeah.
You know, beads of sweat. Yeah. I was murdered, man.
Yeah. And well, that's one thing though. Like, and like we were like all,
no water either.
Yeah. We were all joking around. And like I was telling her dad, I was like, yeah, I love when people like say it's good, but they're in pain. It's not good. And then it's not going to be good later when it's coming out of your ass.
No,
it's got to be like, you don't want to give
ring of fire.
Yeah. You don't want to give birth to the ring of fire. And it feels like razor blades, like lava razor blades coming out of your ass. That's no good.
Well, that's like, my son, he eats those hot Takis.
Yeah.
Dude. I don't see where that's enjoyable.
That's a dab, dude. You're dabbing. You're not wiping. You're dabbing, dude. You're running that paper under the sink and you're dabbing.
That's when you need wet wipes for sure. Yeah. So I'm watching that, and then I just started watching. I got done the first season, and it was on my radar because I saw the advertising for it and of Santa Clarita Diet. It's got Timothy Oliphant and
I like him. He's good.
Yeah, he's real good, and it has Drew Barrymore. They're Southern California couple, real estate agents, have a nice happy life. She contracts some type of illness that turns her into a zombie. Basically, it is gross and funny, and I think it's just well written. the dynamic. I think Timothy Oliphant. I think the writing is critical. I think the characters do a decent job as far as like pulling off the writing. I think the writing is everything about this movie.
Yeah.
But they get into
a movie?
No, I mean, sorry, it's a series.
Okay.
But they get into like a couple episodes to where she has to eat human flesh. And if she doesn't, she starts to go crazy. Right. And then when you're thinking, a couple of spoilers, folks, but I highly recommend the series. They got a teenage daughter and they're trying to get sort of figured out. They're trying to be normal in this most extreme abnormal situation. And so, like, she'll go running. And the thing is that she gets all these benefits. Like, she has high energy. Has very little impulse control when it comes to, like, you know, being outwardly, just speaking her mind, you know? And so it's like if you were a reserved and shy person and then the bully that was down the street that kept picking on you, you finally squared him up and straightened him out. Like, it's those little instances. And the way they deal with the undead thing is kind of unique because she's not like grossly, it's not a Walking Dead undead.
Okay.
And she still has all her faculties. So she's like, that's weird. Like, again, spoilers. She's just when they think they got a handle on it, she's sitting in the tub and she's like, oh man. And she reaches under her butt and she pulls up her own toe. Like, she's starting to decay. So, like, that's another issue that she's got to deal with. But there's some parts, man, where I had to turn my head away. I was like, I'm going to fucking throw up.
Yeah.
Like, gross, dude. Like, real gross. Oh, I'm thinking about it now. And I literally, Cindy knows how I feel about wet hair, especially clumps. Like, you won't catch me fucking cleaning out the drain. But no. I'm going to throw up just thinking about it. There's a scene that I turned away from where she ate somebody and then she had to cough up a bloody hairball.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. It's still a good show, but just be prepared.
That's sick.
You know? So we're done season 2. And here's the thing. Boys are 13 and 14. They say you should be 16 to watch the show. They watch the show. They love it.
Yeah.
Love it, dude. They're like totally into it. It's like our family night now. It's like, are we watching Santa Clarita Diet tonight? And it's like, oh yeah, dude, let's gear up. We got 3 more episodes, and we throw down. We have, you know, pop the popcorn and have a good time with it. So you're watching Barstool. I know you're crazy busy. You catching anything else?
Nah, not so much. I want to finish Chernobyl. That's pretty good.
Yeah, Nick is just singing its praises, man. He's saying all kinds of good stuff about it.
It's solid so far.
Yeah. I think I got to do it. I got to rip the Band-Aid off. So other than that, I'm definitely going to check out Dark Phoenix. And then the next thing is Spider-Man, Far From Home.
Yep, July.
Did you see they're showing some more of the footage? They showed the international trailers.
I saw that.
Dude, it's pretty sweet. They did a little nod to Tony Stark where he picks up Tony's glasses.
These guys' glasses and checking them out.
Did you see the post where it had Martin Starr from Silicon Valley, and it had and he was from Freaks and Geeks too, and it had DB Smoove. He's in
JB Smoove.
JB
from
Smoove.
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah, JB Smoove. So I didn't know. It caught me by surprise. I didn't know he was in it, but I was watching the international trailer. Tony puts on Tony's glasses, you know, the one that talks to Friday.
Yeah.
And it starts to see like what everybody's like, they're on their social media, and it shows who they are, what they're doing, what they're saying, and all that stuff. And then one of the images, I was like, wait a minute, that's JB Smoove. And I just got a flood of happiness because
he's hilarious.
About him on that
dude's fucking funny.
Anything else, Jamie?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us for this week's episode of the Nick, John, and Jamie Show. I'm going to cut this a little short. You can find us on all the social media, at least the ones that matter. And we're on a bunch of different streaming platforms if the one you're listening to isn't the one you prefer. So thanks again, everybody, and have an awesome week.